Hello learners, welcome to the educational video created for Strong Together project, which is funded by the European Union. Today, in this video, we'll focus on Module 3. It's information processing from the globe. Let's see the short overview. In this module, you can learn what is information processing. Exactly, we'll learn about critical thinking. You will learn what critical thinking is, that it has nothing in common with being critical and criticizing other people. That critical thinking is a very well-built competence, and you will learn what skills the critical thinking consists of, how it is useful, and how to use it. How to be safe in an information society, critical points. You will learn that there is nothing wrong with you, there is nothing wrong with us when we are falling a victim of fake news, and that we, in some parts of our life, in some moments, we cannot think in a critical way, that we are unable to think critically. What causes that? What are our psychological barriers? And how it works that our brain doesn't let us to do exactly what we want to do. And knowing that, we'll be able to overcome such weaknesses which are caused by our own brain. Ways to filter information. So you will learn different methods, techniques, and ways what we should focus on when filtering the information, how we can recognize the unreliable information. And of course, here is the aim, is to reduce the spread of disinformation, make it easier to choose reliable news. And it's not only not to fall a victim of fake news, but also what we can do so we won't spread the fake news, we won't share it to other people. So you will see different perspectives of people who fall victim of fake news and people who spread fake news. Choosing reliable source of information. Despite learning those different methods and techniques of recognizing reliable source of information, you will also learn what are additional benefits of critical thinking, what it brings to us, and present you more reasons why we should develop this competence. Here you can see the list of topics which the Module 3 includes. The first topic, which we'll focus on today, this topic, critical thinking, is about the basics, how to understand critical thinking, what it is, how we can develop it, and why we should use it. And of course, what skills are inside this competence, why it is worth to develop, why it is worth to learn. Topic 2, recognizing the threats. You will learn what you should focus on when choosing the proper source and what should make your brain aware and awake when seeing some points on the internet or listening to something or to somebody. What should make you be aware of if this source of information is reliable. What can be considered causing the damage, causing some kind of harm, what can be considered a bit dangerous on the internet. Topic 3, psychological barriers. Here's exactly where we learn about our own brain, how to overcome the barriers which our brain causes to us and doesn't let us sometimes think in a critical way. Topic 4, fake news. Here are information about fake news, its origins, why people spread fake news, You will also learn the difference between disinformation and misinformation. You will also learn a bit about clickbaits, and you will see that it's something that we can face in everyday life. You will learn what you can do not to spread such kind of information. Chapter 5, Finding the Truth. Here you will learn exactly different methods and techniques how to find the truth, how to choose the most reliable source of information, that source of information that you can trust, the source that is safe and that can be necessary or important for you. How to choose the information you really seek. Chapter 6, Overcome Your Weaknesses. So you will learn how to improve your critical thinking skill, why it is useful, how it helps us in everyday life, and what we can do to think more critically. As previously said, we'll focus on Chapter 1, Critical Thinking. So you will learn about the basics of critical thinking, how you should understand it, how you can develop it, what skills are inside the critical thinking competence, and of course, how you can use it. Critical thinking. Today we can say that critical thinking doesn't have one exact definition. Different researchers work hard on critical thinking and its benefits, how it works, but even though people still are unable to create one exact definition of critical thinking. As here is indicated, the philosopher John Dewey thinks it's about the reflection. It's the common point of most of the critical thinking definitions. And yes, here we talk about taking into consideration different aspects of one case, to see two sides or three sides or even four sides of one situation. It's about thinking twice about the information we get. Let me quote Stanson and co-workers. Critical thinking can include the thinker's dispositions and orientations, a range of specific analytical, evaluative, and problem-solving skills, contextual influences, use of multiple perspectives, awareness of one's own assumptions, capacities for metacognition, or a specific set of thinking process or tasks. So we can say that critical thinking is also about logical relationship between problems. How we can learn critical thinking? Critical thinking, as indicated, it can be learned. We can develop it. But how to do that? There are different methods of learning critical thinking, but the most popular one is about asking questions to yourself. It's called Socratic methods. A Socratic method is mostly used when we want to learn about other people's perspectives. It's a form of dialogue. But we can increase our critical thinking skill by asking ourselves the same questions. So when learning about something, you can ask yourself how you understand this problem, how you understand the thing you think of, what it means, what are examples of the thing I think of, why this happened, if there are any alternative ways of understanding it, if there are any alternative ways, why I think so and other people think in another way. So it's about asking questions and considering each aspect we are not really sure about, or if we're too sure about something, it's also worth to consider it once again. Critical thinking is skill made of skills. Here you can see a list of skills that the competence critical thinking consists of. First, if asking questions, as it was mentioned in the case of Socratic method, you will also learn how to ask questions to be given the answers you want to receive. Not the exact answer you want to receive, but to be given an answer that answers your question. Problem solving. So how to see different perspectives of one case, which can help you exactly solve problems. Metacognition. Metacognition is about understanding, a deeper understanding of somebody's other's mind, what this person really thinks, why this person can think so, why they understand something in such a way, what causes something. So it's about learning about other people's understanding. Analytical analysis. So once again about logical relationship between problems, how they are connected and what we can do. Self-awareness. We'll also learn why we understand different things in such a way. If everything is right, or maybe we miss something, there is a lack of some kind of information, or some things can cause us problems. Something can cause us different problems to understand. But thanks to critical thinking, we'll also learn to think about the consequences, about fact-checking, about analyzing it, about creating hypotheses, and many others. Usability. Critical thinking can be useful to us and others. It will allow us to solve many problems and get to the truth and information that we might not notice. So here we can see that it's about learning about ourselves, it's learning about others, but also we can use it to discover whether some information are really true, are worth to be thought about. Maybe there's something missing. Maybe we should think about making another decision. But it's just a short list, but in a practical way, what we can really learn, how we can use it. Of course, to check whether the information is right, whether the information is correct, whether it's not any kind of fake. It will also help us to avoid making mistakes. As previously said, it's about thinking twice or even thinking 3 times about one problem, and it will limit us making mistakes in everyday life and on the internet. It's also about increasing our own safety on the internet and beyond. We can also recognize whether the source is necessary for us. Not if it's right, if it's correct, or if it's false, but also if we need this kind of information, or we can just ignore it. Problem solving and judging and making decisions. The crucial way we should consider when making decisions about something, or exactly about judging. If you want to judge someone, we need to have the reasons. We need to understand. Maybe there were different aspects on one situation we understand. Will also present us as more reliable people, as people who in most cases have information that are worth to be listened. People may want to listen us more often, or more willing to, because we are more confident and we know that we have the good source of information. We also learn about ourselves, what we miss, and what we can develop our own. And of course, we can increase our creativity. Let's go to the summary. Critical thinking is a competence that can be learned and developed. Remember about asking questions, about considering what you read, what you hear, what you see, whether you can trust the source or you should check it once more. Who told you that? What page presents you such an information? If it's neutral or not really. It consists of many other skills that we can use in almost every aspect of our life, like spreading the information to others, being safe on the internet and beyond, and not making so many mistakes. It allows us to focus on the facts, understand ourselves and the decisions made by ourselves and others. So it will help us not to be so doubtful about our own, because we will learn the way we think and why we think so. For further reading, you can also check some text I recommend in this video. Also a short test where you can check what causes you problems when thinking critically, because there are different aspects you can focus on. It's a free source. You can always use it when you want to test your own critical thinking skills. You can check at the very beginning of the course and at the very end to see if the competence increased. Here are all of the lessons learned during the whole module. Today we could check the first one. Critical thinking, what it really is, that it's reflective thinking, what competences and skills it includes, and how you can think deeply about some information, about what people tell to you, what you can read. Here is the glossary that we used in this chapter. You learned what critical thinking is, how to use it, what it's based on, and what skills it includes. And the last one is metacognition. Metacognition, so deeper understanding about other people's thoughts, about their behavior, why they do this thing, why they act like that, not on the other way. After each module, you can see the bibliography, which includes also the pictures that we used, as well as the scientific sources which were used to create the modules for you and for other learners. Thank you so much for listening to us. Thank you so much for participation. And if you want to learn more, if you want to see another chapters and another modules, we can get in touch. You can write to us using the email strongtogether.eu@gmail.com or visiting our website strongtogether.eu.